We're still a while longer on the District Assembly elections, and as a tenure of assemblymen and women ends this weekend, we go into the minds of government on how they intend to tackle the issue. We have been joined on the phone lines by Nilante Vanderpoy. He's the Deputy Minister for Local Government and Rural Development. Thanks very much, Nilante, for your time. So clearly, there is a challenge. How does government intend dealing with this gap, some would say?
Well, thank you very much, and I say a very good afternoon to your viewers. Well, government has listened to its legal expertise and advice from the Attorney General's Department and other legal experts within government. And I think that the Constitution of Ghana, especially Article 243 of the Constitution, gives us a way whereby the work of the Assembly can continue without interruption during this vacuum to be created by the dissolution of assemblies come on the 15th and 16th of March.
So essentially work can continue uninterrupted. There's some who've suggested, for instance, that government should extend the tenure of these assemblymen and women. Is that something that you're considering?
No, government has not considered that option. The Minister of Local Government has not advised government on that option, with the extent that any attempt to extend the lifespan of this assembly will amount to infringing the Constitution, because the Constitution has mandated and stipulated the period and the lifespan of this assembly, and that expires by this weekend. And as such, government does not intend. What government intends to do is to go on Article 243 of the Constitution, Article 243B of the Constitution, which stipulates that administrative and executive functions are vested in the district chief executive. So the district chief executive, together with the coordinating director and other directors and technical of assembly, can continue. But in that way, what it means is that they cannot take any decision that necessary by law has to be taken by the General Assembly of the Assembly or the executive committees of the Assembly. For example, they cannot pass any budget. They cannot go ahead with approving developmental plans when the Committee of Assembly has not approved it, and other such issues that by law should be determined by the subcommittees of Assembly and endorsed by the General Assembly or the executive committees of the Assembly.
So essentially what you're saying is that even without this district administrative heads, work can still continue?
Yes, they can still continue, because the Constitution gives them that power, that they can exercise executive administrative powers.
But you talk about the fact that they cannot, sign any document or take any legal, decision.
For the Assembly or the Assembly members who sign such agreements and documents. So administrative functions are already executed by the district chief executive, the coordinating directors, and other administrative heads of the Assembly, and not the General Assembly. The General Assembly is only a legislative body. They legislate and they pass the laws of the Assembly, the bylaws of the Assembly. So they don't take the executive and administrative functions of the Assembly. So the administrative and executive functions of the Assembly can continue with or without the Assembly.
All right, thank you very much, Nilante Vanderpoy, Deputy Local Government Minister. Thanks very much for your time. Let me hop onto the other line and speak to a local government expert, Eric Osai, who also joins us with his perspectives. I'm sure you've been listening to the Deputy Local Government Minister. What are your immediate reactions?
Okay, I think what we have to do as a nation is that first we cannot afford to violate the Constitution. So the tenure of office of assembly members must be allowed to end. So the assembly will have to be dissolved as and when their tenure ends. But then we have to put in place systems and measures to ensure that the operational activities of the assemblies will not suffer. Now, I would recommend that we come under Article 1133, and then we look at Section 10(6)(a) of the Local Government Act. Now, these particular articles and then sections gives His Excellency the President to dissolve the Assembly and then reconstitute it to continue. So we can't do that. But let me also put it on record that the systems as we are operating in the respective local governments are not likely to suffer that much. It is only the deliberative and then the legislative functions of the Assembly that would suffer. Because in terms of administration, we have the Chief Executive and the Coordinating Directors who are the signatories to the check the budget of the Assembly for 2015 has already been approved by the General Assembly. The annual action plans, out of which development projects are implemented, have also been approved by the General Assembly. So what is left is implementation. The challenge we are going to have as a country is if we allow the current situation to go beyond October 31st, then by which the Assembly should have approved their 2016 budget and the 2016 plan, then we are in trouble. But between now and October 31st, even if we don't have the General Assembly, we are not going to have problems so much. The problem will be with the deliberative functions and the legislative functions of the local government. But two things are also going to happen. The checks and balances within the local government systems are going to suffer, because we have the Audit Report Implementation Committee, which is chaired by the presiding member. Now, if the presiding member is not there, the Audit Report Implementation Committee may not be meeting. What it then means is that the audit report from the internal auditors of the district assemblies will not be attended to. So these are the challenges we are going to have. But my advice is that we should go ahead and then dissolve the assemblies, and if possible, reconstitute the same assemblies as an interim management team to continue until new assembly members are elected.
I hear you clearly, sir. But very finally, how do we ensure that we don't find ourselves in this dire situation in future?
The advice is that in future, we should plan our local government elections a year ahead of time. We should ensure that the systems and processes are strictly adhered to, so that we can give enough time or enough grace period to allow the assemblies to be dissolved and reconstituted for assemblies to run normally. The situation we find ourselves is not the best, and I think we have to learn along this learning curve. We have incurred so much cost because of this, and it should never be repeated again.
And I was just going to go there, because we know that the Electoral Commissioner yesterday met with parliamentarians essentially to explain what had happened. We know, for instance, that they are demanding an additional 90 million cedis to continue with this process. Should anybody be held accountable for what's happening?
Straight away, if you ask me, and in the principle of corporate governance tells me that the entire commission should be collectively held responsible for what has happened. But I would say that the activities of the EC must be audited immediately by the Auditor General's Department to be able to establish how the budgetary allocation given to them have been used. And then after that, we should do a financial audit of the 90 million they claim they needed for the subsequent elections. But I can continue, I will say that the entire commissioners should be held collectively responsible for causing those particular laws to the state.
Eric Osai is a local government expert. Thank you very much for your time.